How's it going, folks? I'm going to show you how you can quickly speed up your computer tonight or within the week if you got 20 bucks. Let's get started. So the first thing you can do is download the Brave browser, Brave, and as you can see, it saved me a lot of time and energy having to deal with, ads and different loading screens because I don't know if you guys know, there's a lot of advertisements out there, especially when you're on the news articles and whatnot. There's always one on the side or in the middle in between every paragraph. Always wants to play a video whenever you're trying to do something. So if you install this, it's essentially very similar to Chrome. It'll have its own little quirks and whatnot. You can still put extensions on it. And I believe there's a way to migrate your existing extensions onto the new one if you're signed in. Been a while since I've done it, but it is possible. So next thing you could do is actually physically upgrade the hardware, i.e. the RAM sticks. That's what I call them. Now, make sure you get the ones in pairs. The reason being is whenever your computer, your laptop's running, it splits the load between both of these equally. Now, you got 8 here and a 2 there, it's going to overload one. So this is why it comes in twos. So whenever you see 16 gigabytes, it's split evenly between, 2 8 gigs. So if you want to upgrade from 4 to 12, it's going to be 6 gigs. But also make sure that's compatible with your specific laptop or computer. Double check because if you get the wrong one, you're just going to send it back and it's going to take an extra week to get everything done. If you can, find a tutorial that's specific to your type of computer or laptop. Now, it's not as hard as you think. Just a quick tip is to wear gloves and kind of have a air duster to make sure dust doesn't get in there. But once it's everything switched out, get started, and you should run a lot smoother. Now the next thing you can do, if you're not too savvy that way, is you can actually get USB stick. Now me personally, I prefer the micro SD, but make sure it has this attachment right here, because what it does, take that, goes in the little slot right there. You can't really see it, but then it hooks in on this side in your computer or laptop. And the reason you want these is because they don't stick out as much as regular USB, but if you have one lying around, just make sure it's clear of anything important, and you can actually use one of these if it works. But like I said, it sticks out a little bit. I don't want to pick something up or be walking around and accidentally knock it out or even break it. So you have some options there, and if it's one that you want to get started with, make sure it's plugged in. I named it RAM for obvious reasons. Right click it, go to properties, and right here where you see it says Ready Boost. Now I don't need it because I have enough RAM, and even though I got a lot of stuff running, it still doesn't prompt me to use it. And this one has 30 gigs, but I mean at most you probably need like 4 to 12, give or take. But that's how you get it up and running if you're going to use a USB. Now the next thing you can do is you go to Settings, scroll down to About, and then right here where you say it says Advanced System Settings, you click that. This will pop up. Right where it says Advanced, under Performance, click Settings again, and right here you'll click Adjust for Best Performance, and it'll uncheck all these. So I don't know if you noticed when I was, let's see, that little animation, I don't know if you can see it, of stuff popping up. It'll turn off stuff like that, and that'll increase the performance. Another thing you can do under Advanced, where it says Virtual Memory, click Change. I wouldn't do this unless you knew exactly what you were doing, but if you do, just go right here, and you would look at the total RAM that you have available on your computer before doing this, because you'd have to calculate how much you put for the minimum and the maximum. You have to convert that down to megabytes. I believe the conversion's 1024 or 1054. The number always mixes me up, but you times the minimum by 1.5, you times the maximum by 3. So if you have 16 gigs, you times that by 1.5 after you do the conversion. Same thing for right here, only times it by 3. Once that's input, you click OK. And the final thing you can do is you actually go to Task Manager. You just type it in right here. It should pop up. It looks like that. Same thing for settings as well. Yeah. right there. And what you're looking for is memory right here. Click it, it'll do a breakdown on what's taking up the most amount of your RAM. RAM and memory, they're the same thing in this case. The reason mine's so high is because I got about 12 to 15 different tabs open right now as I'm talking, along with, screen recording and whatnot. But if you notice something that's kind of running, that's taking a bit more RAM than it should, you right click it, end task, do a bit more investigation, make sure it's, nothing nefarious or just something that you accidentally installed and forgot about. And speaking of which, go to performance. It'll show right here how much gigabytes that you have in your RAM total available and how much is running on it. But going back to the programs, anytime you install a new program, what'll happen sometimes is it'll actually enable it to start once you boot up your PC or laptop. So you got Skype, Xbox, PhoneLink, even Cortana. But if you're like me, the only time you care about Cortana is while you're playing Halo. Or Real Player in this case, that's a media player if you guys aren't aware. When it's installed, it'll say enabled right here. All you gotta do, right click and say disabled. Now it's not a big deal if it shows up right here. These are just programs that automatically say they're gonna pop up once you're you restart for updates, or you have to turn it off, turn it back on again, or you just want to save power and turn it off. Now, just make sure you're not turning off anything important, because this one right here, it'll mess with my sound, and this one I use for my wireless mouse, so it's stuff that I'm aware that I need, so I leave it alone. But anyway, hope this helps. And if you guys want to actually get started in IT and getting your feet wet or changing careers or whatever, there's actually a program called Course Careers. It's one that I signed up with. It's got my feet wet and as far as information technology. Oh, I don't know if we're allowed to see that, but I took a screenshot of some of the labs that they do. I don't know if you can read it. So this is a lot of hands-on stuff that you're actually going to be doing in any kind of IT help desk environment. So Azure is a cloud computing service. They're under Microsoft. OS ticketing, just running tickets on a help desk program, VPNs, Active Directory, something you're going to be using if you're doing any kind of help desk work, DNS, network file share, stuff like that. And it also goes over networking, OSI model, and they go above and beyond because they'll actually walk you through on how to set up your LinkedIn, GitHub, and how to connect everything and optimize your resume and whatnot. They also have one, if you're interested, called Technology Sales. I'm not signed up for that one. I'm not a sales type person, but if you're very extroverted, this is also an option for you too. They got good testimonials. I believe this is the first one that came out under Course Careers. The IT one is more recent. And as you can see right here, they got good ratings and good opportunities. Because I don't know if you've seen all the job postings of people getting fired and whatnot. There's not as many being fired in the tech sector, so it's just something to think about if you want to do any kind of career pivots. But I'll put a link in a comment section down below, along with other links of stuff that you can use if you want to start an online business or do anything like that. But anyway, hope this helps. Y'all take care.